Hello. I'm back. Barely, I got these big old poofy things under my eyes. That's called the process of integration right there. um, I am deeply, deeply humbled by the experience that I just had. I've been sleeping for a lot. um, my body has really needed the time to integrate just the amazing experiences that I had not only on a conscious level but a subconscious level. Um, and there's many, many things that I've been exploring and integrating, and I feel like my cup other overfloweth to the point where there's so much to integrate, so much to that I want to share. And thank you, Renskim. Hi everyone. Hi Richard. Hi Melinda. Uh, Hi Brian. Hi everyone. Happy holidays to everybody. It was a blessing to be able to be in a place that holds so much information from my past, but everybody's past, during these solstice gateways, as well as Christmas Day, being led through the pyramids, the Great Pyramid, with Rico Paganini, who wrote the Giza Legacy. He's an archaeologist, and as well as just information ball of light, studying the ancient pyramids. Hey Bruce, one of my fellow cohorts from the trip. But there's, so many different highlights, but for myself personally, there is the main theme of really truly dissolving fear. And I want to talk about that. There's so many different things where we live in a country, here in the States, where there's a lot of fear here. It's instilled in our society, in our upbringing, in our capitalism, in the ways that we operate. And one of the really profound things that, and I'll be touching on this a lot more, is the way our medical system works. There's so many different things that I could branch off into right now, but there's really, the way that the foundations are set up, and these are systems that will eventually dissipate and transform. But I wanted to share that when I got sick out there the third day that I was there, basically came down with some really acute, very quick bronchitis that moved into something really bad, or, a little bit concerning very quickly, and being not near any medical coverage or anything like that. I had a lot of fear about that until I realized that, antibiotics, I can get a bottle of antibiotics of amoxicillin for $1.83 without a prescription. Now there's benefits and there's cons to that too, because there's some knowledge and wisdom that needs to come with that. But it was nice to know that I was safe. But it also made me realize that how, when I shared this information with our tour guides and whatnot about how our medical system works here in the United States, they were blown away about how ridiculous it was to have all these different systems, set up basically where our society, it's a business. There's several different businesses. Healthcare system is not about taking care of people. It's a little bit more of a business. and reaping the benefits off of people who are not healthy. But the fear perpetuates the imbalance of not being in alignment, and causes us to be off balance as well. But there's many different aspects to this trip with my own fears, because I've really been in this little phase prior to going where, I had little fears, little stupid ones, but they were fears nonetheless, about even sharing, about allowing love to come into my life because of past hurt, allowing people and life to love me more, and to know that it's okay, it's safe to experience love. And different fears from this to just going and living my dreams a little bit more. And there was one of, where were we? We were, I forget which temple it was, but Imhotep. We were learning about the initiations of, the high priests when they want to move into, go into the state of priesthood. They had to dive off this little thing, some perfectly choreographed, 10-ton rock that just happened to be made by a man somewhere. Bullshit. But to become a priest, you had to dive off of this huge rock high up into this little channel in the ground, which was covered with a steel grate so nobody could go in there. And the rumor was, or the story is, that down beneath is this pit of water which is filled with crocodiles. And in order to become a high priest, you had to dive into it. And those who are willing to dive in and survive are those who become initiated into becoming a high priest. And then later to find out that, those who dove in found out that the only thing that was down there was a toy crocodile. So that was a big, profound little realization. And I'm going to start using the term realizations, because a lot of people use the term downloads, but that can make some people feel a little like they don't really, they don't have downloads because nobody really knows what they are. Or, I just had a download. No, let's just call them realizations. Okay. So realizations, the mapping, the integration of information, integrating with your present knowledge into expanding into further knowledge. So these realizations that I had, or other people may say, that's a download. But these realizations that I had were really profound in terms of, me needing to go completely outside of my comfort zone, to go to a country that I've never been to before, to fly out of the country for the first time I've ever, done. But so many different realizations about the ways that people love out there, where everybody treats each other as though they're all brothers and sisters. There's not fear that separates people out there. Now, granted, hello from Uganda. Hello, Kathy. There's, I just received information that there was a bomb that went off near the pyramids just a few hours ago, apparently. A lot of people really talked about, the being in trouble or having so much fear about going where you're going. And I wanted to talk about my own personal experience with that, and realizing that I choose to create a reality, for the most part, that does not carry that satchel of fear with me. Sometimes we have those little fears. We're human. But in terms of, overcoming fear, how do we actually do that? And it's by actually going and proving to yourself that you're safe, to expand beyond those comfort zones. They're what I call vibrational addictions of safety. Your body, your subconscious mind is always wanting us to be safe. So, but sometimes we adopt all these different fear-based tactics and ways of thinking, and which keeps us in a state of control. Okay. So there's a lot of different things that I could go off about this. I'm still really tired. Um, and, but in terms of, I wasn't really ever afraid to go. But interesting enough, the most fear that came up was regarding going into the Great Pyramid. And because it was something about big guy in tight spaces, and but also this fear of, oh my God, am I gonna ascend and just evaporate off the planet? And all, these different little things going off in my head. It was really odd. And Enrico tapped me on the shoulder. It's like, I'm sensing that you have a little bit of fear going on. And he was concerned because the reason is that because in the pyramid, the energy is so pure and whatnot. So it will really exacerbate any emotion or heighten any emotion that you're in fact moving through at that time. And so I had there's a bunch of different things that kept coming up, and a bunch of different things that kept wanting to be lifted out and purged. And I'm a person that doesn't really like limitations, and it's funny because these fears actually create limitation when moving through these fears is actually what creates freedom. By moving through and proving to yourself that you are safe, that you're always safe, that you have the ability to do what you always want to, will in fact continue to create much more benefits to you, acknowledging your entire light and well-being being lived, so then you can further perpetuate but into that existence. There's coming back, I am very much at peace with a lot of things. I don't have any need or desire to think about negativity. I have zero interest in it, really. I have bills staring at me. I'm no longer, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I would work at a fine dining restaurant on the weekends for the last year. And while doing that, it provided some safety nets and whatnot. And the big thing is realizing that, another big realization that came from this is that the universe trusts me. The universe trusts me, and the universe trusts me. Not that I need to trust the universe or need to trust anything else, but I need to believe and know so wholeheartedly that the universe trusts me to make the moves, to create the reality that I want to create. The universe trusts me to set each foot forward in the direction that I want. And in doing so, with whatever beliefs, whatever things that I choose to carry in each moment in the future, each path will be laid out, not waiting for the other way around. And there's been times when I've really known this, and then there's been times when I've been thrown off course, and then I'll have to revisit and relearn. But it's really about, the universe trusting. I had to disengage from a lot. I had to disengage from the need or desire to be distracted so much, as it's very easy as an energetically sensitive to become distracted. There's many of us who just love social media. We just love it, but it really takes us out of our present moment. I chose to use it as a tool to bring more positivity into my community's life. but I also know that I am able to, really kind of, I meditate a lot, so it's a little bit easier for me. But, uh, but yeah, the cell phones, all these different distractions take us out of our present moment. But so does fear, and creating future uh, negative uh, experiences that have not happened by allowing your imagination to run wild, by allowing your pyramid of light to basically be open to other people's fears, and not allowing yourself to fully experience what it is that you want to create in terms of taking each step forward, taking your step forward, and knowing that the universe trusts you to be a part of this experience. The universe trusts all of us to be a part of this experience. The universe is trusting all of us to be a part of this experience. That is why we are here. Okay? So when you start looking at things, and if you can apply this in a way of knowing that the universe does trust you, nobody's different, nobody's better. The universe trusts you through free will to take each step in the way that you want. If you want to take a step forward by holding on to fears from the past, you can do so, and the universe will support you. But if we want to move forward and, in great trust and knowing that everything will be provided, everything will be coming into the way that you insist upon, okay? And the repetitive actions are actually repetitive actions, and holding that desire. This is all integrated with manifestation as well, of holding that, you can choose to tap into the frequency of fear. You can choose to tap into the frequency of what if, okay? What lies on the other side of the fence? What lays in this new realm of being in peace and being able to create from this space of peace and being trusted? By being a divine being of light, as we all are, what can we accomplish knowing that we are trusted? And yes, there's a trust that comes from being in a place of integrity and being in a place of love. And then when we hold that frequency of love and the ability to love and appreciate, allowing that to really be the guidance, the compass that moves us forward, there's no fear that is able to bring that down, okay? There's no fear that can bring down a beam of light, okay? And this is when also healers get this little jumbled oftentimes. They go, oh, I need to, and I was taught this too, oh, you need to set up a protection around you. And I'm like, no, I just need to love myself. I need to know that I am in a space of love, and that I am loving, and that I am in my integrity. I really don't have much fear of death. I've seen it up close. I've seen it, in my own personal life. I've experienced lots of it in my life. I have been able to really be in the space of honoring life in its entirety. And it's been a blessing, and at times it's been very difficult. But laying in the Persian shafts beneath the Saqqara temple, it's a location that's not typically open to the public. The energy in there was so palpable. The whole Saqqara temple in general for me was extremely potent. I could feel it in my body just vibrating just so intensely. But also it was very warm. It was very warm, and it was almost like being in a sauna. Same kind of similar energy as the Great Pyramid, different frequency. But being in these rooms in the Persian shafts, the purity, the energy in there, something was so beautiful, I couldn't quite pin it down or what it was. But the walls were very white. They're very beautiful, with the beautiful blue stars on the ceiling. And then with the shape of almost like a tomb, or for like a mummy shape etching in the floor. And later realizing that what is carved into the walls with the hieroglyphs are actually excerpts from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And that was when my body just really just kind of started tapping into this alignment frequency of just, noticing different feelings and discomforts in my body, but allowing myself to fully explore externally and soak up the information like a sponge. But it really allowed me to move into the space of being in a sort of peace with a lot more. And, going into the Great Pyramids, again, overcoming that fear of being big guy in small, tiny spaces and having that little fear of, what if I can't get out? We were taken down into the pit that actually lays beneath the Great Pyramid. And the pit, so say here's the bottom of the pyramid, you first enter up here and then you go down, and it's quite a ways down. There's railings on the side and little like wooden platforms you're walking down, and you're holding onto these railings, and it's narrow chamber and you have to like keep your head ducked and whatnot. And then you come into this big room, which they call the pit, which there is literally a pit in the ground, and we're beneath the pyramid, a good amount of distance beneath the pyramid. And then it was beautiful because the group, we just, we did some light chanting or light oming, and just really allowed ourselves to feel the sounds of our frequencies and whatnot, but integrating. And it was a very humbling experience. And that's actually what allowed me to be back into this zone and allowed me to feel comfortable. And then off down just a little ways, there's a narrow passageway which is typically blocked off. And each person took about 5 minutes going down this corridor that's about 10 meters off from that main room in the pit, and spent about 5 minutes in that space. Very narrow. And of course, I was confronted with the fear of, okay, watching people coming out face first on their way out. And then when my turn came, I was the last one, or before, there's our buddy Bryce, behind me. And going down there, I realized there's no place to turn around. There's no place to turn around. But, and, I'm like, it was kind of funny because it was very symbolic in a lot of ways, because, here I am in Egypt, there's no place to turn around. This is what you came for. All these different lessons, whether it be symbolic or not. I chose to be here, accept it in its entirety, and to accept everything in its entirety. There's no need to give things meaning beyond love of what everything is. And so I realized that after laying there face up in this little chamber off to the side underneath the entire pyramid, that the only way out was by backing up on my hands and knees. And yes, my mind was doing all sorts of things, and but most importantly, realizing that it was such an honorable experience to be fully tapped into and living one of my dreams, despite what my mind was wanting to create. And it really is the fear of death that holds us back from living. And but it's, also the one thing that we all do is die. And so if we don't take these different risks and chances, then what's the point? Then, watching my brother and my father die of cancer, knowing that they didn't really have the chance to, really live their dreams as much as they want. I'm assuming that's the case. And here I am with, this opportunity to be able to live not only to my fullest capacity, but by taking the biggest leap I've ever taken before. And it was for me, it wasn't for other people, which is often the case. And so with doing these things, I come back realizing so much more, and just how so many things are just trivial. The things that I have been concerned or worried about, different things that move through my navigation, how everything is trivial. We were on the bus one point, and you're looking at the streets of Cairo. There's 20 million people in this town. So there's cars everywhere, horns honking. You hear the prayers over the... If there's one sound that just gets me, it's hearing the prayers starting over the sounds, over the speakers all throughout the city and the land. It just takes me to a place. But our tour guide, Sammy, I said, wow, it's like there's no OCD in this country, And he was staring down at this parade of just traffic and chaos, and everything's disorganized. And he says, what's OCD? And I said, yeah, exactly. But it also really allowed me to connect some dots in terms of when, in our country, we have this system that's designed, it's a business system that teaches people to, being locked up in fear. But also acknowledging that, oh my gosh, there's all these things. I'm going to diagnose myself with all these different ailments. When in Cairo, you don't hear about this shit. They don't even know what OCD is, or if it's even a thing. And some people can say, well, it's because they're uneducated. No, that's not it. It actually goes into, and I'll just bring it into epigenetics, when we're all, in environments that are where it's a placebo effect, the suggestion of different things that actually allows us to create beliefs and thought forms. But when you're in a community or communities of people that believe certain things, then it makes it okay and acceptable to continue to do so. But when in fact it actually further perpetuates the misalignment of these things, rather than the essence of empowerment through integration by self-love, through healing. There's a lot of love in Cairo. There's a lot of love, a lot of joy we experienced. The first thing they said when I got off the plane was feel Egypt. It's about feeling. We also know that feeling is actually what we're moving into in terms of our guidance system, where our feelings are emerging, and the ways that we integrate our feelings allow us to know what's in harmony and what is not. Okay, so a lot of different things are shifting for a lot of people. A lot of people are waking up, and feelings, being sensitive is a good thing. The sensitive is actually not going to be so much a thing, because sensitivities are going to lead you into a space of empowerment shortly if you're not already there. If you've noticed, I'm curious about what your experiences were in the last couple of weeks over the solstice. If some of you have noticed a profound change. It was really interesting because many different times when we were at the specific temples is when the Schumann frequencies were heightening. So it was a really neat experience. as kind of getting mega blasted, but also at the same time, I felt like I was in exactly the right space where I needed to be, so there wasn't any contrasted experiences other than these little fears, but which I was also integrating and working out in my mind. So it was really quite powerful. And like I said, I have a lot of integrating to do. I feel like I came back with like 5 cargo ship containers worth of information that I need to sort through and integrate. And with the experiences of, following your highest excitement, it's about merging the old information with the present and creating a new frequency and creating a new. So I'm receiving a lot more information about, new tools, new ways to help myself and help others. So it's really been quite an amazing experience. I'll probably be talking about a lot of this stuff and different things in regards to this trip for quite a while. But more so, I feel free. I feel free to do whatever I want. And I have absolute freedom to do whatever I want. The only thing that was keeping me at bay was basically the fear of, perhaps money would not come or stuff like that. And again, it's all trivial. It's all trivial. These fears are not mine. They're created by the society in which I live, and as an energetic, sensitive person, I chose to adopt them. I chose to bring them into reality. And as I chose to do so, the universe starts to go, okay, we trust you. But I want the universe to trust me in a different way. And knowing that the universe trusts me and knowing that we are trusted, I'm going to create in a whole new way that is representative of the reality that I want to experience. And of course, again, I've been down this road before, but man, apparently I need to get it really, really drilled down deep. And I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I paid attention. I'm glad that everything was really just more beautiful than I could ever imagine. And today I'm going to go meet with friend Erin, who's in town. She's a third level master initiate of the King Solomon Modern Mystery School, or the King Solomon lineage. She's in town. So it'll be nice to, and really exciting to talk to her about, how she's doing with her work and integrating stories and whatnot, because they're very overlapping. But then I get to meet with Kirsten, my spiritual accountability buddy, my psychic, to kind of integrate a little bit more. My body is beaming right now. It may look like I'm super tired. It may feel like I'm really tired, but I'm really at a very peaceful place right now. My laundry's getting laundered, but it's all about what I want. What is it that I want? What is it that I want? Now that everything's been cleared out of the way, what is it that I want? Knowing it's okay to want things. How do I create, and how can I create in a way that will help other people? But also through my own actions and sharing, my stories, just by being me. How can, it's been really cool watching this whole process emerge of just being me is really all I need to do. It's really all I need to do. And you think about, wow, how simple that is. Well, spirit's a little simple. What makes it complicated? These little things. So, but anyways, I'm gonna go clean my car. That just sounded so funny. I'm gonna do something crazy, like clean my car. Oh, Lord. Anyways. Hi, Jerry. Yeah, so it's been quite an amazing experience. I am really excited about the coming days. I'm very, very much looking forward to 2019. There's a lot of power in 2019, a lot of expansion, a lot of really stepping into owning your power and aiming high and pushing forward and stepping into mastery. So I'm very excited about it. I don't have New Year's plans, so I'm kind of toying with the idea of driving down to Mount Shasta and saying hello to Mount Shasta for a couple of days. So I'm not sure though. But anyways, now I'm just rambling. I'm gonna go meditate some more and go clean my car and then go have tea and then go have Thai. I'm gonna go do whatever I want. Yay. But anyways, I'm wishing you all the best.